My name is Daniel Brooks. I am 45 years old, and until one strange week in my life, I believed I understood what love was. I worked as an office manager at a small company in Ohio. My wife, Laura, was 40 years old, and together we had two wonderful children. Our daughter, Mia, was 14, and our son, Ethan, was 11. We lived a simple life. Every evening we ate dinner together, talked about school and work, and spent time as a family. It was not a perfect life, but it was a happy one. Then everything almost changed. One Monday afternoon, I came home from work feeling terrible. For several days I had been coughing constantly, and my chest felt tight. Even walking from my car to the front door left me exhausted. Laura noticed immediately. "You need to see a doctor," she said. "I'm fine," I replied. She folded her arms. "Daniel, you're not fine." The next morning, I finally agreed to visit a clinic. After examining me, the doctor ordered a chest X-ray. When he returned with the results, his expression worried me. "You have pneumonia," he said. "I want you admitted to the hospital today." A few hours later, I found myself lying in a hospital bed near a window overlooking the parking lot. That was where I met a nurse named Rachel. Rachel was kind, confident, and friendly. She explained my medications, checked my temperature, and made sure I was comfortable. Whenever she entered the room, she smiled warmly. At first, I simply appreciated her professionalism. But during the 5 days I stayed in the hospital, I began looking forward to seeing her. I knew it was foolish. I was married. Rachel was married too. I had seen her wedding ring and heard her mention her husband several times. Yet some strange part of me enjoyed the attention she gave her patients. When you're sick, vulnerable, and stuck in a hospital room, even simple kindness can feel powerful. By the time I was discharged, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Back home, Laura welcomed me with a hug. The children were excited to see me again. Our house was full of warmth and laughter. Still, my thoughts kept drifting back to Rachel. Days passed. Instead of appreciating what I already had, I started imagining things that didn't exist. One evening, I made a decision that changed everything. Or at least, it almost did. I found Rachel's number on a discharge document and called her. I invented an excuse about needing help with medication. Rachel politely explained that I could visit a clinic if I had concerns. But I kept talking. Eventually, I convinced her to stop by briefly while Laura was out shopping and the children were at school. Looking back now, I hate remembering that moment. I wasn't thinking clearly. I wasn't respecting my marriage. I was chasing a fantasy. When Rachel arrived, I invited her inside. She looked uncomfortable almost immediately. Then I made the worst mistake of my life. I stepped closer and tried to kiss her. Rachel instantly pushed me away. "What are you doing?" she shouted. Her face showed shock and anger. Only then did I realize how terrible my behavior was. Before I could apologize, the front door opened. Laura walked inside. Time seemed to stop. She looked at Rachel. Then she looked at me. The disappointment in her eyes hurt more than any words ever could. Rachel quickly explained what happened before leaving the house. Laura stood silently for several seconds. Finally, she spoke. "I trusted you." Those 3 words destroyed me. I tried to explain, but nothing sounded meaningful. The damage had already been done. Within days, Laura moved out with the children. The house became empty. Months passed. I struggled at work. I barely slept. I stopped caring about anything. Eventually, I lost my job. The loneliness was unbearable. Every room reminded me of the family I had thrown away. 1 year later, my health declined again. Ironically, I found myself back in the same hospital. This time, things were much worse. The doctors looked concerned whenever they entered my room. One evening, I stared out the window and thought about my life. I thought about Mia's laugh. I thought about Ethan's school projects. I thought about Laura sitting beside me during movies. I remembered family dinners, birthday parties, holiday mornings, simple moments I had once taken for granted. Tears filled my eyes. I would have given anything to go back and change my choices. Anything. My breathing became slower. The room felt darker. I closed my eyes. Then I heard a voice. Daniel. The voice sounded distant. Daniel, can you hear me? I slowly opened my eyes. Rachel stood beside my bed. For a moment, confusion filled my mind. Then everything suddenly changed. The empty house, the divorce, the lost job, the lonely year. All of it disappeared. Rachel smiled politely. You're awake, she said. The medication made you sleep for several hours. I looked around the room. The machines, the window, the hospital bed. Everything felt familiar. Then realization hit me. None of it had happened. The ruined marriage, the divorce, the lonely future. It had all been a dream. A terrifyingly realistic dream. My heart pounded. I sat up slowly and covered my face with my hands. Rachel looked concerned. Are you okay? She asked. Yes, I whispered. For the first time, I truly looked at her. She was still kind. Still professional. Still just a nurse doing her job. The feelings I thought were important suddenly seemed ridiculous. I realized I had confused gratitude with attraction. Kindness with romance. A temporary emotional weakness with love. The dream had shown me exactly where that mistake could lead. 5 days later, I was healthy enough to leave the hospital. The entire drive home felt different. I noticed the blue sky, the trees along the road, the simple things I usually ignored. When I finally opened my front door, Laura was waiting inside. She smiled the moment she saw me. The children rushed toward me. Dad! They wrapped their arms around me. I hugged them tightly, maybe tighter than ever before. That evening, we sat together at the dinner table. Laura talked about her day. Mia told a funny story about school. Ethan described a science project he was working on. I listened carefully to every word, because now I understood something important. Real happiness isn't always exciting. Sometimes it looks ordinary. Sometimes it's dinner with your family, a conversation after work, a child laughing in the next room. Later that night, after everyone was asleep, I sat quietly beside Laura. She looked peaceful, safe. familiar, real, and I realized something that changed me forever. The feeling I had for Rachel was never love. Love was the woman who stayed beside me when I was sick. Love was the family waiting for me at home. Love was the life I had already built. Many people realize the value of their family only after losing them. I was lucky. I learned the lesson before it was too late. The dream felt frighteningly real, but it gave me a second chance without taking away the people I loved. From that day forward, I stopped searching for happiness somewhere else. Because everything I truly needed was already sitting around my dinner table. And for the first time in a long time, I was grateful for it.
Thanks for watching my story. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next story.